Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Eman. Today's video is something I'm very excited to share with you guys. I think about a couple of weeks ago, I posted a video talking about 3 things that I've done this year that have really transformed my life. I know, very, very dramatic, but it was a video that you guys loved and I wanted to kind of continue on that theme. And one of the things that I've done this year that has really helped me is kind of just filling my ears and my head and my thoughts with really positive things. And I've been reading a lot of books. So today I'm going to share with you guys 5 books that I read this year that I found super helpful and that kind of just gave me a whole new perspective on life. The first book is called The Mastery of Love, A Practical Guide to the Art of Relationship by Don Miguel Ruiz. So this is the first book that I read this year and it definitely struck a chord because it talks a lot about wounds and how different experiences in our lives can create wounds that we carry from childhood all the way through adulthood if we don't deal with them. And it's really interesting because something so small that can happen while you're young can affect your whole life. It also talks a lot about how we take these wounds and carry them into our relationships, whether it's family relationship or friendship or a partner like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband. It also talks a lot about fear and how so much of our decisions are made from fear and our insecurities. So a lot of really good stuff in this book. I personally read the audio version of this book. I actually listened to this probably about 3 times just so I could really absorb everything they were saying. So this is definitely a great read or listen. Book number 2 is one of my absolute favorites, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This book is, this is a heavy read. I'll start by saying that. You definitely need to read it a bunch of times. I'm probably going to be reading this book for the rest of my life. It is all about being present in the now and how so much of our decisions in life are based on things that have happened in the past or things that we're worried about in the future. If we really just stop and focus on just the now, it's such a relief. Really being in tune with your internal voice and how to kind of mute all of those voices in your head that make you question yourself and just cause a lot of fear and anxiety that are kind of unnecessary. But it goes into a lot more. I originally got the paperback and I was reading through the paperback and then I got the audiobook, which is actually narrated by the author. And Eckhart Tolle has such an amazing, calming voice, you guys. You will feel like you're meditating just listening to his voice. So I definitely recommend the audiobook. But what really worked for me actually was listening to the audiobook and reading it at the same time. So as he was narrating, I was kind of following in here and actually highlighting passages that really struck a chord. This is a book that everyone should read. It is heavy, it's intense, but if you just give yourself a chance to read it, I think this is something that could be very life-changing. The next book is definitely a favorite, you guys. This is called The Wisdom of Sundays by Oprah Winfrey. So one of my favorite podcasts is the Super Soul Conversations by Oprah Winfrey, where she interviews people from everywhere talking about so many different things. And every person she speaks to, you just walk away learning something new. So she took those podcast interviews and put them in a book, and she really just kind of highlighted the parts that really stood out to her, which are all just amazing things to take away. If you love the podcast, you will definitely love the book. I love both, and there's so many Oprah aha moments in this. I love a good Oprah aha moment. This next book, I'm going to start by saying that the name of the book is very cheesy. I need you guys to get past that because it's actually really good. The book is called The Man God Has for You by Stéphane Labossière. So I actually got the audio version of this book, but I probably would recommend the paperback just because I didn't love the narration, so I would probably just do the paperback. But going past that stuff, the content in the book is really insightful because it's coming from a guy's perspective. And I think a lot of times women read things so much differently than men. Guys are just more straightforward. Like, we know this, but they really, really are. And just kind of understanding relationship stuff more from a guy's perspective was pretty insightful. So the book goes into talking about 7 different traits that you need to have to help you find your perfect life partner. Not just a partner just for the sake of having a partner, but things that you should really think about when you are looking for a life partner. There is a slight bit of a religious aspect to this book, which I kind of just glided over because that's not something that I was like really resonating with. But the other parts of the book I found really cool and like a different perspective, so kind of open up my eyes a little bit. Super light read. You can probably read the whole book in a day. So if you want something that's just like an easy read, but kind of makes you look at things a little bit differently, definitely recommend this one. And my last pick is Tuesdays with Maurey by Mitch Albom. This book affected me in a very different way. I found this to be very sentimental. It's about a man who was pretty much married to his job. It was the only thing that he cared about in life, which I can definitely relate to. How he focused all of his energy and time into just that. And then he built a relationship with an older man that was pretty much on his deathbed. And they would meet every Tuesday and kind of share stories and talk to each other. And how speaking to this man, this older man who was at the end of his life, and just kind of absorbing everything this older man had to say and had to teach this younger man, it really opens up your eyes on what really matters in life, you guys. You know, we put a lot of time and energy in things that probably at the end of the day don't really matter. We worry and stress about things that don't really matter. So what does matter? And this book kind of goes in a very sweet storytelling kind of way, goes into just the different life lessons that someone who has had a lot of life experience can share with someone younger. I love this book. I read this a couple of times as well. The audiobook also is a great option if you're in your car, if you're like even going on a hike and you want to listen to it. This is the perfect book for that. All right, guys, so those are my picks for my favorite books that I've read this year. They're all very, very different, but I learned something different from all of them, and they all really struck a chord in a different way. If you've read any of these books, make sure you let me know in the comments below what you think. If you have any book recommendations, please make sure you share them with all of us. So leave them in the comments. Do not forget to hit that big red subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and also add me on Instagram at Eman, because I'm sharing a ton of different stuff there as well. And that's it. I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye.